first define public health. Public health is the science and art of preventing disease, prolonging life, and promoting health through the organized efforts and informed choices of society, organizations, public and private communities, and individuals. We looked at an overview of biochemistry and pharmacology and the introduction. So I'm not going to define biochemistry again. I'm not going to define pharmacology again. Let's just have the relevancy. Let's go through the relevancy, why we should have the knowledge of biochemistry and pharmacology. It is important to me as a student of public health and health promotion to study biochemistry and pharmacology because of the emerging and the leading public health problems which are due to variance in chemical processes in the body. For example, we have diabetes mellitus. This is one of the leading chronic non-communicable diseases in the world and is on increase even in these developing countries. For example, Uganda, diabetic patients are really many. There are many in hospitals. So we need to sensitize people about this, how it is caused. For example, in diabetes, if we look at the different types of diabetes mellitus, we shall get to understand why some people are put on insulin and why others are not put on insulin. As a public health officer, the discipline of biochemistry and pharmacology is vital to us in that we get to know cell biology, physiology, pathology, and immunology, nutrition, toxicology, and as well as cell injury. We get to learn these things in biochemistry. So we need the knowledge. Biochemical research is also applied in industry, agriculture, and food production. When taking all these applications into consideration, it's clear that biochemistry is far from a single monolithic discipline, and that's why it's relevant to public health. And as a public health officer, you must apply to the field to address some concerns to the public about some of the pathogens affecting human body as a result of biochemical reactions. Without the ongoing flurry of scientific breakthroughs made by biochemists, we wouldn't have the precise chemical knowledge to create the vital drugs, therapies, and diagnostic tools that are used every day. So it's because when we study this biochemistry as public health officers, we shall link our knowledge and we discover more drugs. We advise the chemists to manufacture more drugs for particular conditions. Yes, much like medical science itself, biochemistry is a vast area of research that yields profound discoveries each year, and in public health field, our area of interest is to discover more about what is happening in the health area. Biochemical techniques advance our understanding of the chemical structures and processes that underpin human health and disease, revealing the underlying transformations between them. Also, the implications of uncovering the causes of pathologies on a cellular level are huge. By being able to call on a working knowledge of biochemistry and other related disciplines such as molecular biology and immunology, as a public health officer, we need biochemistry knowledge to apply in the field and be able to transform global health. And with the rise of public health threats such as air pollution and climate change, non-communicable diseases, antimicrobial resistance, and DEG, the research of biochemists is needed more than ever to recognize the utility of biochemistry knowledge in disease prevention. We also need biochemistry and applied pharmacology because it introduces us to get to know the side effects of drugs on the human body and resistance, or when the medicine produces unwanted effects, for example, in adverse reactions and toxin reactions. And as public health officers, we need to understand this better so that we can sensitize the community at large. As a public health student, there is opportunity to cover more issues of biochemical reaction in a greater depth so as to gain more theoretic knowledge that will be used to link the concepts of biochemistry and applied pharmacology to the field of public health practices. As a public health officer, students will come to understand the popular demand for medicines and their importance to the population. So we have to study pharmacology, we need the knowledge of biochemistry, because outside people are consuming drugs. They're consuming different kind of drugs that are causing undesirable side effects to their bodies, their lives. Some people have lost lives because of overdoses. So if we don't learn this, there is no way you can advise people outside there. So we need the knowledge so that we can teach people in the community to avoid self-medication. Always go to hospital and you get a prescription from a doctor. As a public health officer, we get to know more about how drugs are administered and advise the community about the route of administration of drugs such as oral route, intravenous route, intramuscular, subcutaneous, rectal, vaginal, and inhaled route. And some of these drugs are administered in that way so that the drug is not denatured as a result of wrong route of administration, and also avoid undesired side effects that may occur as a result of wrong route of administration. As a public health officer, was got knowledge from school about biochemistry. When someone comes to you asking, consulting, I was given this medicine from the hospital, but I can't remember the instructions. Kindly help me. You'll be able to guide the person, you'll be able to guide the community because you've attained knowledge on drug administration, how the drug is given. That's why biochemistry and applied pharmacology is really relevant to the field of public health. Just a sip of water. Knowledge in pharmacology about drug absorption, for example, lipid and water. The knowledge obtained helps the public health officer to understand why some drugs are taken on empty stomach, some taken after food, some after eating a fatty meal, etc. So this can help to explain well to the community on how well the drug should be taken exactly. So we looked at different things at the beginning. Here, as a public health officer, after obtaining the knowledge on how drugs are administered, you can be able at least to advise this client in case they come to you with a medicine which is strictly supposed to be taken on empty stomach. You can be able to advise them so that the drug is not denatured. Biochemistry introduces us to know how the maintenance, expression, and replication of the genome and epigenome occurs in humans and deficiencies in these processes. These have fundamental impacts on the health and viability of organisms, for example, leading to cancer predisposition, phenotypes in humans. For example, hereditary breast and ovarian cancer syndrome. Now, after us studying most of these genomics, we get to understand some of conditions that are caused as a result of particular deficiencies in the body. We get to understand some of the diseases that are passed on. For example, hereditary breast and ovarian cancer. We also have Lynch syndrome. We have Cowden syndrome. As a public health officer, having acquired the knowledge, we hope to teach and advise the population to always visit the hospitals for checkup in case of anything like that. Thank you. Deficiencies in these processes are real dangerous. They're real dangerous. So after obtaining the knowledge, you can be able to guide the community. The relevance of biochemistry and applied pharmacology in public health enables us to get to know the toxicity of drugs to human cells and therefore sensitize the population to avoid self-medication. Just as we are going to have a look at some of the clients, patients who was given a drug and they ended up with an undesirable side effect. That's why we need this knowledge. After studying the toxicology, you can be able to help the community outside there. You can be able to advise once you see a patient is presenting, someone is presenting with a sensitivity after swallowing a particular drug. You can advise and they can always visit the hospital. As a public health officer, there is need to know and understand different diseases that are caused by deficiencies in our bodies. For example, maybe as a result of enzymes, if the enzymes are not functioning well or the deficiencies, the particular condition someone is most likely to get. Biochemistry introduces us to get to understand the functions and different diseases associated with enzyme deficiencies. Thank you for your time. That's what I had for you today. There's some videos attached. Scroll down and get time to listen to them. Thank you for your time. Let's catch up from there next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.